Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolors. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello YouTubers and welcome back to my channel How to Paint Watercolors with me, Colin. And this is the sunset. And I'm just going to set off by putting a bright spot in here with some lemon yellow, only a little bit. I've stretched my paper and I've left a thin film of water on it like I normally do. And I'm just going to brush this out with a damp brush. Into that, this is cadmium yellow deep. Little damp brush. Then just above that, some alizarin crimson. Not much, just a tiny bit. Seaver's blue and turquoise with a little bit of crimson added to it because it's an evening sky, so we need to darken it. Taking it right over the edge of the page. Seaver's blue, turquoise and alizarin crimson again, but this has more turquoise in it. Just create an interesting sky. Dark around the edges, or just feathering some into the sky, bringing it in. This is indigo and turquoise with some burnt sienna added to it, just to really darken parts of it. Always leaving some of the undercolour to show through. And we come back to the lower part of the sky, and I'm just going to drop in some cad yellow deep and alizarin crimson, streaking it through. Reasonably dark here. And I then want to drop in some darker orange, which is the cadmium yellow deep with cadmium red deep. Touch darker down here. Now we will be putting some clouds into this, but right at this moment in time it's just a little too wet, so we are going to leave this for maybe 10 minutes and then we'll come back to it. Okay, I've left that about 15-20 minutes. And you can use a hairdryer, but I like to make sure it dries evenly sometimes, depending on what I'm doing with it. And we'll just put some clouds in. So we'll test it for the spread first. Seaver's blue and alizarin crimson I'm using for this, bringing it down towards the bright spot. Letting it come out over here, cleaning the brush. And all these clouds, or most of them, will be pointing towards the sun is shining through. And then, well, just here, I'll just take a rolled up kitchen towel and we'll just take a little bright area out like that. Now that the drying stage has reached that stage, we can do it. I'm using the very tip of the brush for this. If you enjoy these videos, please leave a comment. I always do like to hear from viewers and I do manage to reply. Cleaning the brush in case I've picked up some of that indigo that I don't want, possibly a little thick. It's starting to dry a little much here. And that's the problem you can get with a hairdryer, but you can also get it naturally, but it does lessen the effect. Just a damp brush, just working the hard edge. It's nice sometimes to bring the cloud effect through the sun. these clouds you may not see because of the trees. It's getting a bit dangerous now, so I'll have to leave that a little bit. Just a few more strokes. And I think that's all I want to do with that. And now we're going to let that dry. Now that your sky is nice and dry, I've just re-wet the background hill here just with some clean water, and I'm just going to drop in some of the orange of the sky colour in some parts, just allow it to flood. Just where it's catching the sun. Then go into the darker orange, which is the cadmium yellow deep and the cadmium red deep. Drop some in, coming right to the end here. Then with your indigo, turquoise and burnt sienna, just drop in the outline. Just gently bring this together, just adding interest on this headland. With a damp brush, I'm just going to take 1 or 2 strokes of paint out. Once again, creating more interest. So if you like these videos, please click the like button, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing. Subscribers are always welcome. It's free. And now we have to let that little bit dry. Now that the whole of your sky is completely bone dry and your hills, I'm just going to run some water along where the ocean is, around the island. I normally do the water last, but I think I'm going to do it first this time. Then taking some cad yellow deep. Just a little bit more of that, some cad yellow deep on the edge. Along here as well. And if you're painting a sunset, you can actually take this sky and put it into a different sunset painting. It will work just as well. Some cadmium yellow light, if you haven't got that, lemon yellow will do it. This is going to be basically all your sky colours really. Some of your orange, which is the cad yellow light, and alizarin crimson. Just start to deepen 1 or 2 areas here. Down a little bit, then into the darker orange, which is the cad yellow deep and the cad red deep. Just have a few strokes of that, hardly noticeable. Seaver's blue and turquoise, just get this in the bottom just for now. And just as a breaker, alizarin crimson, bring that into the sea. Moving on to the darker colour of the two, Seaver's blue and turquoise, with just a hint of alizarin crimson in it. It's all horizontal strokes, indigo and turquoise, with some burnt sienna added to it. Now we can really deepen it. Bring the colours together with a damp brush. Where the sun is here, I just want to take out some paint. A roll up kitchen roll. And we'll just take out where the sun is shining through for a sun streak. And then we're going to allow this to dry. Now that your seas are relatively dry, I'm just going to bring some of the turquoise and Seaver's blue into this little dish here. Add a little bit of water to it, and we'll just put a few waves in the background using a flat brush, just random. We will be lifting the tops out with some scraping just to give them a little bit of a sparkle. As we come closer to, they'll get slightly bigger, so we'll use a slightly bigger brush. Not so much as you come around here, because it will be in the way of the land and it will stop the waves coming past. It's just an idea, just for your eye really. French ultramarine and burnt umber with a little bit of sepia in it, or any dark that you can make from any of the blues that you have left over from old paintings. You just throw it in a pot, add brown to it, and you'll end up with a black. And we'll just put some of these palm trees in. And as you come down, just press on the brush just to flatten it out, and you end up with a thicker trunk. Don't make them all the same size really, give a little bit of variation. I'll have a really tall one here. Then I'm just going to block this island in a little bit with it. I'm going to take a damp brush and just lift a little paint off it, just producing one or two light and dark patches. Just saves it being all one solid colour. Just pull some of this colour into here so I don't get too much paint on the brush. I'm going to open my mop brush. I'm just going to tap some on the brush. Very gently, darker towards the edge, I think. Bringing some bushes in. Bringing through some branches. To my palm trees, and I'm just going to put some leaves in. I'm just using the tip of the brush to draw where the leaf is, and I'm just touching it on and dragging the brush very lightly using a jagged edge to create the leaves. A bit of practice is what's needed sometimes. Doesn't matter if you go over the other one. It's nice to allow the light to shine through. Too much paint on the brush. Crisscross the leaves over the trunks of the trees, sort of pulls everything together. And I just want to take some clean water and I'm going to run it all along the bottom where the island is. Doesn't matter if it runs. Taking some of the same colour. We can drop in a little bit of a reflection, an evening reflection. Just an indication of where these bushes were or are. far the spread goes. Just put a quick indication. Making sure I get the right amount of trees in. Looks a bit odd when you've got one too many. Strengthen that shadow up. And then we're going to leave this to dry. Now that the whole thing is completely dry, just take a craft knife like I have here, and at the tops of the waves just scrape the top off them, revealing the white paper carefully. And this will form the crest of the wave. I didn't put any waves as you're coming into the lagoon here because these are quiet waters. Just turn it round so I can get to it easier. Make it easy for yourself. I just want to put a little movement in here. I'll take a ruler and the craft knife once again. Make sure that you get your lines level. Seagulls in. And then you get round best bit. This is where you get to sign it, sit and frame it. Enjoyed this video? If you have, please click the like button, and if you're a new subscriber, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, see you next time, and I would like to thank you all for watching.